What is up, guys? I am on this, I believe, 15, 13-foot whaler, classic whaler, and we are doing some custom work here. And so, what I have got going on here is sort of a pre-stage before stencils. I've got some key points here and here and here and here drawn out so that I can start connecting some lines. I need to make a deck up here. I need to make a deck for the fuel tank. I need to make the actual deck. I need to build a bulkhead for the face. And I need to build separate, well, it's gonna, I guess you could call it a bulkhead. I need to make a little bulkhead behind the tank and stringers that hold the tank in all the way up to this top deck, and that run underneath the main deck here. And this, there'll be a platform in the rear as well, which dimensions are to be announced. But in the meantime, I am going to be installing the transom. Obviously we've cut a lot of the rear out of here. We'll be thickening it up with, I believe, 3 layers of Kusa, and maybe some added support under the new platform, that kind of thing. I've got this all pretty much lined up where I need it to be, where I can actually start getting some real dimensions and lay those out on cardboard and then cut the real stuff. Tomorrow morning we're grabbing a sheet of Nitacore, which will be used for the top decks, a little bit more rigid than the Kusa. But the Kusa is better for, in my opinion, actually building stuff out of that you're not going to be standing on. It actually holds together with screws. It's very, what would they call that? The screws hold, no problem. That's all I can say. Even though it's foam, it's carbon fiber, and it's got bits of fiberglass mixed in with that, and it seems to do a pretty good job. In any case, we're going to be building stringers in the main deck and everything below the added forward and rear deck, which is Nitacore. And in the meantime, I'm just trying to make sure we've got enough room for everything. We're going to run PVC pipe underneath the fuel tank. Trying to make sure I have enough room for that. It's really tight in the front. It's really tight everywhere. But we're trying to work with trying to avoid raising the deck in the front and changing too much, and making sure all the water flows to the back, which will be changed into a bilge pump. And if anybody has any, we were basically thinking we could use the PVC pipe as a drain for that anchor locker, as well as, you know, its main purpose of running wires and fuel line for the fuel tank. And there'll be 2 speakers on the face of the platform that'll run, of course, to a T on the console and to the back bilge. So if anybody has any experience with that, we were kind of debating whether it's a good idea to run a drain and power in the same. Maybe we could run 2. I don't think there's enough room for 2. maybe 2 small PVC pipes instead of 1 big one. Maybe that would work for what we're trying to do. Anyways, comment below if you have any ideas, please. So tomorrow morning, I will got a bunch of cardboard strips prepped, and I'm going to go ahead and glue gun and make stencils with those, and then start cutting all of my material and get this whole forward. What I decided to do here, because the width is actually a little bit over 4 feet, I'm going to run the sheets sideways. I'm going to start from the front. 4 feet ends about a foot or so aft of the fuel tank, so one sheet will actually fall in nicely. You can see I use these floppy pieces of fiber to kind of project the front pieces here that were broken. So I've got actually 1, 2, 3, 4 points of trajectory, so I can actually get I can measure and make a template for that whole deck. I'm going to make one piece that'll wrap right around the tank. And that will give me actually my cutout for the fuel tank as well. So the question I do have for the owner, which I will be sending this video to, is we were discussing putting a hatch on the top deck, so you have access to all of this components. And so my initial inclination is to make these stringers just wide enough to give us space so that you can actually get your straps down there, and you've got enough to get your hand, throw a bolt in, screw, what have you. However, my afterthought has been, what is your plan for the hatch? Because then I can actually, or should actually, make the stringers wide enough so that you have room for a hatch. Otherwise, alternatively, I can just go ahead and move forward with cutting, leaving out an arm's width away, and you can kind of like find one that fits. You may find a hatch that is the exact width of your fuel tank. That might be the thing to do. Just a thought. So in any case, I'm going to run them right up to the top deck anyways. But in any case, this is what we got going on. What else? Oh, in the back. Instead of trying to get too fancy, you are correct, we're not going to see these. So as far as structural and making it just hold the foam, I'm just going to run, I'll just run a straight piece right across the back, both sides, 45 it basically. Seal it here, seal it there, and call it a day. Run the deck against that kind of thing. I will put, I think, a little bit of added support in the back corners here and there where it meets, so we don't have any accidents while I'm laying fiber up with the floor crushing in or anything like that. What else? I guess that's it. I'll cut this thing out of there. But I think that's what I'm going to do. Build something simple. And I guess that's it. That wraps it up. Thanks for watching.